And then 2 years later, I got this email. And I don't know if you can see it, so I'll read it to you. Dear Dr. McKee, this email is just to say thank you. 2 years ago, on New Year's Eve's day, I was sitting at my kitchen table with a pad of paper and a pencil, trying to think about what I wanted the new year and my new life to look like, as my husband had just died 8 weeks before. I had Women's Hour with Jane Garvey on in the background, and you were her guest. I don't know what possessed me, but I called in and I got on. I said that I was looking at new patterns, but it was hard, because if I changed the way my husband and I used to do things, I felt like I was losing more of him. And you told me to throw away the list I was working on and instead create a joy list. And I can't thank you enough for this advice, as top of the list was playing piano again. The next week I went out and I bought a baby grand piano. 2 months later, COVID hit and the first lockdown. The isolation on top of the bereavement just about did me in, but I started to play the piano each time I started to feel sad or I felt like a meltdown was coming, and it passed. The brain can't process sad when you're doing piano exercises at the same time, as the piano would always win, distracting me from sad, and it brought me great joy. I've improved hugely and I've continued to play over the last 2 years. I've come out the other side of bereavement, and so much was thanks to that brief call in, your advice, and then going out and buying a piano. My very warmest wishes, thanks, and very happy, blessing-filled New Year, Valerie Humphrey. So Valerie did what we all do. She started by focusing on the outcomes. She started by focusing on what was most, let's make a list and let's try and do all the things on the list because it's got to be really hard. And then a switch flipped for her when we talked about creating a joy list. And that's what we found in the habit science. And research shows time and time again that if you can tune into the habits that bring you joy, that bring you happiness, those are the habits that last. Those are the habits that lead to long-term success. Why are we making it harder than it needs to be? Change is already hard. It's even harder if you're being hard on yourself about it. And so I would ask you the same question that I asked Valerie. When it comes to creating any new habit, any new change in your life, ask yourself, what's on your joy list? What are those habits that bring me joy? Or how can I layer joy onto the habits that I already have? How can I make things more enjoyable for myself? Whether it's nutrition, whether it's exercise, whether it's meditation, whether it's managing your stress, having better relationships. Think about what fills me with joy. What brings me joy? Because ultimately, if you find the joy, the rest becomes easy.